If your fantasy draft is approaching, listen up. As the summer goes on, a lot of players are dropping in drafts, making them values. And I found 7 that are major values for you that'll help you win your fantasy draft, and you don't want to miss out. And we're starting with the Saints running back Alvin Kamara, who his court date was recently delayed yet again, and it's going to be pushed back to September 29th. That's when it's going to start. So there's a very likely chance that he's not going to get suspended this year, and he'll play all of 2022. And now here's why this matters. Because Mr. Alvin Kamara currently goes in drafts as the running back 12. He's often going in the 3rd to 2nd round of drafts for a first-round talent. He's finished as the top 8 running back every single year of his career. But that's not all. Because last year, Kamara was 2nd, only behind Jonathan Taylor in red zone opportunity share. If his team was in the red zone, he was basically out there at the running back position. And his 67 targets were overall 6th in the NFL, but per game, he was top 5 with 5.2 per game. And this means Kamara has the cheat codes for fantasy. Now it gets even better. And fellas, that's because he has 0 competition in this backfield. Mark Ingram, we know what he is at this point. He's very close to retiring. He's more of a locker room guy. They just signed Malcolm Brown, who's just a guy who's going to get bounced around, probably won't make the team. You have Abram Smith, who might be his biggest competition, but he's an undrafted running back that every single NFL team 7 times in the draft at least said, yeah, no thank you. And then a name that you probably do know in Tony Jones, who last year ranked outside the top 120 running backs in efficiency. Not good. So draft Kamara and then take this next 7th round wide receiver. And that's because reports out of San Francisco 49ers camp is that Brandon Aiyuk has been the best player there. He's apparently seeing priority treatment on Trey Lance's deep passes, which is a good thing. And head coach Kyle Shanahan said he won't be limited this year. Now let me explain what that means. Last year, Brandon Aiyuk did not see his normal run as a wide receiver until week 8 when he started to play 90% of the snaps. I mean, he started the year playing 48%, 55%, then he got into the 70s, but his normal role, a wide receiver for this offense as a starter, 90% was until week 8 because of, according to Kyle Shanahan, maturity issues last year. Well, let's check out what Brandon Aiyuk did last year once he got that full role. Well, in his final 11 games getting the full-time role, he averaged 151% more fantasy points per game, nearly 13 per game, and he averaged 57 more targets per game. That is fantastic. Plus, he started to beat man coverage at a top 20 rate the second half of the year. And speaking of beating man coverage, KJ Hamler in his rookie season before he lost all of last year to injury was top 10 in separation. And now he's primed for way more opportunities in 2022. Here's why. Tim Patrick was starting in the slot for the Broncos this year in camp, but then he ended up suffering a torn ACL and will miss all of 2022. And this opens the door for Hamler, and I want you to check something out here. Hamler compares closest to Tyler Lockett, except Hamler's actually younger and faster than Lockett. Now here's why this matters. Lockett has been Russell Wilson's #1 target since 2015. He's targeted Lockett over 200 more times than anybody else. 625 targets during that time. Doug Baldwin second with 417. Which means if Hamler looks like the Tyler Lockett in Denver now, translation means you draft him in round 14. And this next wide receiver goes even later. And that's Packers rookie wide receiver Romeo Doubs, who accordingly has been the best player in their camp. And now he's winning both downfield and in the red zone in scrimmages and in camp. Now, here's what you need to know. Christian Watson has yet to practice in full. He actually just came off the PUP list, so he's missed about a month of reps with Aaron Rodgers. And veteran wide receiver Sammy Watkins has also not yet practiced in full, which opens the door for Romeo Doubs, who according to Aaron Rodgers is making a wow play every single day in camp, which he said, his words, not mine, is very rare for a rookie. And now typically these rookies who are getting hyped up in camp are the guys you want to fade. However, the Packers don't have much receiving threats. They have no true #1 or even #2 wide receiver at this time, and Aaron Rodgers rarely gives rookies credit. So take Doubs and then take this next running back before it's too late. And that would be Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who looks to be the clear #1 running back in Chiefs camp. And his backfield competition is basically getting weaker by the day. Let me explain. So in camp right now, Ronald Jones is the running back 4. He was the 4th running back into the preseason games, and he's a cut candidate who was due less than $1 million in guaranteed money. And that's happening because of the emergence of 7th round rookie Isaiah Pacheco, who has solid size, he has elite speed, and as of right now, he is operating as the running back 2 in camp and in preseason games. He looks good. But according to reports, he's still far behind Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who is the, quote, clear running back in camp. But that's not all. Because the only other running back that they signed this offseason was Jerick McKinnon, who they actually ended up re-signing, and apparently he's the firm running back 3 at best in camp. Now, all of this is great news for Edwards-Helaire, who expects to open the year up with some potential workhorse usage. And that's important because running backs who play and start with Patrick Mahomes average 14.8 fantasy points per game, which was more than Dalvin Cook had last year. So take Clyde in round 8 and then get this next running back even later. And that would take us to Denver camp, where Benjamin Allwright reports it's a near 50-50 split between Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon, which isn't great news for Javonte, who goes in the 2nd round, but it's fantastic fantastic news for Melvin Gordon, who goes as the running back 37 in round 10. Now, here's what you should know. Let's start by saying Javonte Williams in 2021 was incredible. We love the talent, we just don't like the second round ADP. But Melvin Gordon was also great last year. Just check this out. He was a top 20 running back in production per touch as yards per touch, and he was 7th overall in broken tackles, evaded tackles. Plus, Gordon is a better receiver and pass blocker than Javonte Williams, which will keep him on the field more. And you can see here just how high I am on Melvin Gordon compared to the market. He's my 64th overall player, which is 46 spots, almost 4 rounds higher than ADP, average draft position. And if you want to check out my full top 200, my tiers, my rankings, wants and avoids list, and a whole lot more updated weekly, you could do so by clicking the link in the description and following the 2 simple steps to acquire your supreme cheat sheet this year. And you'll also receive a $20 Amazon gift card. Now, if you don't like the cheat sheet for any reason, I'll refund your minimum deposit of $10, 100%, and you can keep this $20 cheat sheet. The goal is to make this as risk-free as possible for you, and if you want to join the thousands of other people using the cheat sheet right now, click the link in the description to learn more. So you want to take Melvin Gordon in the 8th round, and then you want to take this rookie wide receiver, and that would be Treylon Burks. And now there's a lot of question marks for Treylon Burks. There were some conditioning concerns. Well, he quieted those by showing up to camp in shape, and now there's concerns that he played in the 4th quarter of a preseason game with the 3rd team offense. Well, that's all the context we have right now, but he's dropping down draft boards. So basically what this is a good old buy low spot because there's still a lot of upside here, and let's discuss. And that's because the Titans have the most vacated targets in the NFL. Another way to look at this is they have to replace 67% of their targets from last year, over 350, which means Treylon will have all the opportunity in the world to continue on his college success, where he saw a 31% target share, top 7% of all time, and a 46% dominator rating, which is the percentage of overall yardage that he accounted for, which was top 7% of all time. This guy was a monster. And the other good news would be that there's no clear wide receiver 1 in this offense, or even wide receiver 2. Robert Woods should be one of those guys, but he's 30 years old coming off an ACL tear. He does look good, so we do like him, but again, not a major threat. There's Nick Westbrook right now, who in his career has 41 catches. And then there's Racey McMath, who doesn't have that many NFL receptions, a 5th round rookie in Kyle Phillips, who's mainly a slot guy. There's a lot of opportunity for Treylon to take over as the 1 or 2 in this offense. So draft Treylon Burks as he continues to drop in drafts because you're getting him at a cheap price point. These are 7 players that you want to draft now. And if you want to stop drafting bad wide receivers and actually get 7 good ones for this year, then check out this beautiful video right here. And now I think the 3rd player in that video might surprise you. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe.